How's it going, everyone? Daniel Rodriguez here. It's time to review another movie. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the sequel to Alice in Wonderland, which released in 2010. That was 6 years ago, and I was literally in 5th grade or 4th grade when it came out. I remember there was a picnic lunch, and right after that, my mom took me to go see Alice in Wonderland that opening day. Great memories, honestly. I do remember going in, walking into the theater, getting popcorn and all that. And then 6 years later, literally the day I saw Alice through the looking glass, I graduated. I literally, the same day, so, because I only did 3 years of high school. I didn't do junior year fully, only a month and a half. So, 6 years later, I graduate and I see the sequel to it. And it's not everything that I thought it would be. It's a little disappointing, honestly. So we're gonna get into it. This is a non-spoiler review. I won't be spoiling nothing. I'm just gonna give you the pros, the cons, and the final score. Tell you whether or not you should go check this out in theaters, wait for rental, or maybe just never see this movie at all. Of course, this movie is directed by James Bowen, and it has an estimated budget of $170 million. So here it is, my non-spoiler review for Alice Through the Looking Glass. Starting off with the pros, I would have to say 80% of the film with its effects in here, like the CGI and all that, I enjoyed it, man. Like, I didn't see it in 3D or IMAX 3D. I only saw it in 2D. But most of the effects in here were pretty good. They weren't great. They weren't, like, outstanding, give it an Oscar award for its effects or anything. But honestly, I was planning on seeing it in 3D, but then I heard about all the bad reviews, and I heard everything about it, saying like, oh, it's just, don't even see it in general sort of thing, like of reviews. And so I thought, well, I'll pay $5.50 and just see regular 2D, because either IMAX 3D would have been $13, or just pay $5, you know what I'm saying? So I was cheap. I saved my money, and rightfully so. So some of the effects were, but most of the effects were good for what you can do. Of course, there's those two twins and everything, and the CGI dog and the CGI mouse, and not everything could be perfect. I understand that, but for $170 million and still that dog looks so CGI and fake and everything, well, most of it's the background and stuff, I understand, but most of the effects were pretty good. Johnny Depp, I liked him in the first movie, especially when we first saw him and he got on the table and he was doing his little Jack Sparrow walk and everything, and he's like, Alice, it's you, like all that, you're late, naughty. When he was doing all that in the first film and all that, that was awesome, dude. That was awesome to me. But in this film, not so much how the way Mad Hatter act, but his whole look and his whole get-up, for sure. I was alright with that, for most of the film. And Sacha Baron Cohen, he is also a new character in this film. He plays Time, like time itself, man. I enjoyed his character. I thought he was entertaining at times. There were a few jokes that didn't get me, but most of the time, he's not a bad guy. He's not a bad person. He's just Time, and he needs to make sure time runs smoothly, and somebody in the film ends up ruining something for Time where he has to go after them, and this whole arc going on there. On to the cons. First off, this movie didn't make sense. There were stuff in the plot that it didn't make sense. Literally, like, it's an hour and 54 minutes or something, and by the end of the movie you walk out and you're like, Jesus, this movie could have been an hour and 20 minutes. It didn't have to be an extra 40 minutes. They could have cut 40 minutes off of this film and just, you know what I mean? Like, it was slow and boring. Like, honestly, I was bored at times. The Red Queen, Carter, whatever, Bohan Carter, her name, she is just the same in the first one. I enjoyed her in the first one, but all she does is yell. All she does is just the same thing that she did in the first film. The Red Queen's really annoying in this film. Like, she really does get on the nerves. And what they do with her character, like, at the end of the film, it's like, then why did you do all of that stuff? All of that. All of this hour and 54 minutes to end up like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, really? You did I just wasted an hour and 50 minutes of my time just for that to be the end conclusion for, what the Red Queen and all that, what they want, like, what they did with her character and the rest of the characters, to conclude on that. It's like, really? Like, then why make this a film? Because honestly, this didn't need to be a sequel. There was no need for a sequel for Alice in Wonderland. Maybe if 2014, 2015, like maybe 2-3 years after the first one, but 6 years after, nobody really wanted this. Nobody was asking for this film. I guess what you could say is the movie didn't grab me. Yeah, there are a few entertaining scenes. It's not a horrible film. Like, it's not going to be in my top 10 worst movies of the year. You know what I mean? It's not a horrible film. There are good moments to it. It is entertaining at times, but it has problems. It's a very messy movie, and the story arcs in Anne Hathaway. I'm sorry, but what is this? What is that? Aren't you supposed to be like the smart queen and everything, and you're like, oh, how horrible is that? Like, what are you doing? Honestly, I've seen you do better stuff, Anne Hathaway. I've literally seen you do... I know you're a good actress, so why are you in this film? Oh, like... What is that? It's like she's just a bimbo, just, I don't know, like just air in the head, no brain and all that. You know what I mean? Like, her character is useless in this film, and maybe to the very end part of just something so simple and so moronic that it's predictable at times, this film. I saw this film 4 days ago, and it's forgettable. Like, it would maybe take me 5 to 10 minutes just to think about maybe step for step what happened in the film. But overall, it's a forgettable film. Like, you can't instantly think, like, a week later, they're like, hey, what happened in the film? You could maybe tell the basics of the film. But other than that, there are scenes that are just forgettable. And there's some stupid plots. Like, Mad Hatter, like, they show how Mad Hatter became the Mad Hatter, basically. And this film deals with time travel, is all I'll say. Like, it does deal through time travel, and it just doesn't work out as much as I want to. Like, some things work, but it's just so... Whatever they did with Mad Hatter, like, he's all sad and depressed in this film, so he's not that much fun. Like, there are a few Mad Hatter fun scenes, but I feel like Mad Hatter is even stupider and insane than the first film, because I don't remember Johnny Depp being this stupid in the film, like really stupid, like, and depressed in the film. No, nobody, I'm not hating on anyone who has a lisp, but Mad Hatter does, like, I didn't remember him having a lisp, and I saw some old scenes a few days ago on YouTube, just like short scenes, and he did have a lisp in the first film, but I'm like, oh, Alice, I'm very scared. I'm so very scared, Alice. I'm just like, Johnny, like, I'm okay with Johnny Depp playing weird characters, sure, why not? I mean, he's Johnny Depp, man, right? He could do whatever he wants, honestly. But he's so bad in this film at times where I'm like, Jesus, Johnny, what have you been, like, what are you doing with this character? I know he's supposed to be insane and everything, but there are just certain moments where I'm like, this is a stupid move where they're taking this character. Like, I enjoyed the Mad Hatter in the first film, wasn't a big fan of the Mad Hatter in the second film, the way he was acted. Real quick, the late, great Alan Rickman passed away this year, and he has a small role in this film, of course, as he was the caterpillar in the first film, and then now he's like a butterfly in this film. If you put all his lines together, it's literally one sentence, literally, like, one sentence. It's not a paragraph or anything, it's just one sentence. And I can't really judge Alan Rickman's performance, obviously, in this film because it was so small. But I know the film's dedicated to Alan Rickman and everything, but very small role for Alan Rickman. Like, again, they filmed this a year ago, so you would think they'd give Alan Rickman a little bit more dialogue or more lines to give. Like, he could have been in the film more than what he was, given in the film. And also, for the end of the movie, the end result, like, I didn't enjoy the end result. Yes, again, throughout the whole film, there were entertaining scenes that, but nothing that kept me on my toes where I was like, or the edge of my seat, nothing like that. So, overall, I'm going to end up giving Alice Through the Looking Glass a 6.3 out of a 10. I thought it was an okay film. Overall, is it worth watching in theaters? I would say no. I would say more of rental, just $1 rental. I mean, this movie doesn't demand to be seen on the big screen. There's no, it already lost its money, and if you go put $5-10 to it, it ain't gonna get it to $170 million. Just wait for rental, honestly. And I know not many people like the first Alice in Wonderland, but then again, I was a kid at the time, so I enjoyed the first movie, and it was just a mess, this film. The story arc, some of the writing, it just didn't make sense at times, the end result. Whatever they did with Johnny Depp in this film, I mean, it's a mess, is what I'm saying. So 6.3 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Make sure to like, comment, and share. I would like to, for you guys, if you want to comment down below and tell me your thoughts on Alice Through the Looking Glass, if you liked it, if you didn't, whether you plan to see it or not. So thanks again. Until next time, bye-bye.